All right, welcome to the Smoke and Mirrors podcast, your destination for the latest in movie news and reviews. We are your hosts, Rob, Dave, and Triz. This week, we give you our thoughts on our regular anime corner with Bleach, Reservation Dogs, Lionesses, The Sound of Freedom, which I'm really looking forward to hearing about, Winning Time, Season 2, Episodes 1 to 3, and PainKiller. Now, let's start the show. How we living there, fellas?
That was good, man. It had me a fucking Denzel Sunday fun day.
Right.
I just watched Denzel today.
Really?
It's D-Day, baby. Pause. But so I watched Roman J. Israel Esquire.
How is that? I haven't watched that one. That's
It
one of the
wasn't
ones that I
bad.
didn't watch.
Yeah. It wasn't bad. A little bit clunky in the sort of second or third act. They didn't know how to wrap that shit up, so they just fucking zoomed to the end.
Right.
But I always enjoyed, you always enjoy the Denzel performance in a shit movie.
Right, yeah.
And then caught up on them equalizers in preparation for the threequalizer. The three-peater.
He's a switch hitter, bitch.
Yeah, that was like my day. But yeah, went to the movies, tried that Japanese cheesecake. So I was just hyped about this fucking cheesecake. It's no good. I just did not like it one bit. Like, it wasn't for me. I'm not going to say it's no good, because there's those out there that probably like culinary fucking taste buds that are just fine-tuned. But to me, it just tasted like ricotta cheese. They just bunched together. Yeah. It is light and airy and everything, but like what helped was I chucked it in the fridge and let it chill for a little bit, so it still stayed a little bit light and airy, but it was a little bit denser. Yeah. I don't know. You guys probably like taste it and be like, "It's my jam, my biboo."
I don't know. For me, like cheesecake got to be like nice.
Yeah.
There's a lot of trash cheesecakes out there.
I value the creamy cheesecake over the crumble cheesecake.
I like it that the base as well got to be on point for me too.
This was baseless, debased.
Yeah, it's almost like legit a cake. It's weird.
It sounded like you said this was bacon.
Fuck, bacon in that cheesecake would have been something else. It needed like bacon and maple syrup or something to just take it up a fucking level. Wait.
Bacon and cheesecake.
I've seen them, someone, who was it? Epic Mealtime Goes. I think they made a bacon cheesecake. They just put the fried bacon bits into the crumb.
on the top, if they did it on the top with maple syrup on there, and like, because this cheesecake isn't sweet.
Oh.
Yeah, that's why I was like when you mentioned the bacon, I was like, that salty and sweet combination in this would actually be all right.
So,
but if it's just ricotta, then it's trash, because ricotta got no taste. There's got to be some lemon in there. There's got to be something, maybe blueberries or something like that.
Nothing.
I want an equal amount of blueberries in every muffin.
So, what if I was fucked around and just made like a cornbread cheesecake then and just served that with barbecue instead?
You could.
Fucking oath you could. And I would eat it too.
You could make a savory cheesecake, which would be really, really nice.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Imagine putting that bitch on the smoker to make.
Yeah, I would smoke that cream cheese first. Little barbecue rub on there. Smoke it just in the packages as is. Maybe 250. Smoke for 2 hours. That shit still holds its shape. And then fucking make the cheesecake. Baked. And what's this?
Baked and chilled.
Yeah. You could get down like that.
Yeah. Instead of
then
like
you could do cornbread for the actual base of it. It'd be fire. I get down. I get my chef bag.
Chef Tom ain't got shit on me.
What's Chef Tom do this shit next week?
Fucking hell.
Badly. Him and Bobby Flay are gonna do a special.
Yeah. I was be waiting to see what the Chef Tom has on it. Like, what's he gonna do this week? This week was Smash Burger tacos, and it was excellent.
It was
It's heating up them tacos.
I saw a Reddit post for that, and they're saying that Chef Tom has a rat in his beard like Ratatouille, making him do all the work.
That's wild.
My weekend was good. I was just chilled out on Saturday. What did I do on Saturday? I was went to do some shopping and then had a few at the local pub there.
Nice.
And then Sunday just washed the car and had dinner with B's mom and dad, and that was it.
Nice.
Yeah, I just chilled. Watched those movies I bought. Enter the Dragon, Fire on 4K.
Was it?
Yeah, Laylo was he was on something else on that Enter the Dragon.
Yeah.
It was mad though because the Atmos actually worked. Like, you know when they throw the darts?
Yeah.
You can hear them in the air and then getting caught. Like one hit behind me on the left, up in the sky, because it hits the apple, so it makes the noise.
Yeah.
And then one hit like just in front of me, in between my speakers, at the top though, the one that Bruce catches.
Yeah.
It was mad.
Fuck yeah. Fuck, I can't wait to watch that again. I haven't watched that in maybe 15 years.
Yeah, and then today I watched what's his face, Ford vs Ferrari. Fuck, that was mad.
Fuck, I still gotta watch that. Shit,
that's a hater of a fucking movie.
You know, I got this thing where I just don't watch car movies, eh? Besides Fast and the Furious, I haven't watched Days of Thunder, Ford vs Ferrari, fucking Driven, the Rush one as well. None of that.
Fire too.
So you only watch the trash car movies?
Yeah.
Exclusive trash car movies.
Yeah. It's like I'm a slut for trash car movies.
Hey, I can accept that. You know what I mean? If you're to be a slut for anything, make it trash car movies.
I was actually talking about this with B's dad today. He was like, you put on a serious movie for me, and it's either going to be good or trash, but if you put on a trash action movie, I can watch that shit until the end and enjoy it.
Fucking
oath.
Yeah. No such thing as a trash action movie. As long as the action's good, you forgive everything else.
Yeah. It's like,
I don't know.
Shoot 'em Up had really cheesy lines, but the action was fucking cool.
Well, I like that because of the characters. But Ultraviolet and Ballistics X vs. Sever, trash.
No action in
Flux.
those movies. There's no action in those movies. You have to wait right up until the end for the action in those movies.
Ultraviolet had OD action.
No,
it was fucking all action. Yeah, it was car chases. It was fucking everything. It was just all CG action.
Bored out.
Kurt Wimmer was on some bullshit.
Also, Aeon Flux. You gotta add Aeon Flux to the trash action movie.
I never sat through Aeon Flux.
I did. Regrettably.
It's no good, Johnny.
But yeah.
Take us into the anime corner there, mates.
Yeah. So it's been a lot of like fucking waiting for Ichigo, but this might just be the most banger episode we've received recently for fucking Bleach. So the back end of this, which I'll go into, is that there's this guy called Kenpachi Zaraki, right? And he was introduced in the 3rd season of Bleach, the original. And this guy was very much like Jet Li in Fist of Legend, when, like, in the first act, where it was all I care about is being powerful, and I'm the most powerful motherfucker on the universe. And he's this dude, he's big, tall, bulky, fucking had this jagged Zanpakuto that he didn't know the name of, and he didn't have any powers. He was legit just, like, slicing through motherfuckers. And then he's wearing this eye patch. And with the fight that Ichigo has with this guy, he's like, you're a worthy adversary, so I can enjoy this fucking fight. And he takes off the eye patch and unleashes his fucking true power.
So it was just capping the whole time with the eye patch?
Yeah. Cap and crunch. But the eye patch has like these mouths on the inside of it that sucks up his spiritual pressure, or his power, I should say. So it was getting sucked daily.
Sucked off.
I was just gonna say, can you imagine if he like dacked himself and he just had big old eye patches on the dong paws? That would make sense in this story.
So this guy's been very much just fucking gone in Thousand Year Blood War. We see a little bit of him in the first season of this, where he almost has like a crisis where he just doesn't know who the fuck he is because he doesn't feel like he's the most powerful.
Hmm.
And you find out that Kenpachi isn't a name, it's a fucking title given to the most powerful, let's just say, samurai in the world. But he inherited that name. You have to kill the person who is donned as Kenpachi to become Kenpachi. You got to kill the best to be the best. And that was this lady, Captain Unohana, part of the Soul Society. We've always known her as this really nice lady who can heal people, and she was just sweet. But she turns out to be the original Kenpachi, and she is a fucking machine. And her and Kenpachi have this fight. This is before the episode, by the way. This is all just fucking info. And he becomes the new Kenpachi because he kills her. He says, fuck it. Even though they're comrades, he was like, no, this is the path I need to take. Very much just fucked her up after a huge fight. So he's been absent. And you come across his lieutenant, since he's a captain as well. And she ends up fighting this Stern Ritter, who you try and slice him, but it's almost like an auto counter. So you just get hit back straight away and nothing happens to him. And she's like, okay, cool. And so she unsheathes her Zanpakuto. And everyone's freaking out because her sword still looks normal. It hasn't turned into anything else. But there's all these demons surrounding her sword. And she says that her sword is actually fucking possessed by these demonic spirits. And regardless if she misses a slice, they almost reenact what she's doing. So it's like an extended reach on her sword or whatever action she does. So this guy ends up getting fucked up. But then you find out that he's almost like the extension of another Stern Ritter. And his power is that anything that he can imagine or make you imagine becomes real. And so part of his fight with this lieutenant, she goes to go slice him. And he's saying, imagine that your arms are like cookies. Paused. Legit grabs this chick's he legit grabs this chick's wrist and he just spins it, and you see all of it, and you see the whole arm from like wrist to elbow just spin up like that.
Fuck.
Fucking breaks her arm, breaks her other arm as well. And then the whole fucking roof comes off the house that they're fighting in, and Kenpachi fucking shows up. Now, prior to all this, Kenpachi learnt the name of Zanpakuto with that massive fight he had with Unohana, which just fucking... You're anticipating some cool shit to happen, so he starts fighting this guy. And for some reason, this guy is just losing. Because no matter what he tries to hit Kenpachi with, fucking Kenpachi is still managing to smash him the whole time. But this guy can imagine that his wounds are just gone within seconds as well, so it's almost like you're fighting this invincible being. And so the guy was like, I'm gonna imagine that the whole world is just gonna blow up. And he summons this massive fucking meteor to come through the sky and destroy everyone. And I shit you not, some of the coolest fucking like Street Fighter-esque finisher style fucking scenes happens. Where Kenpachi's just like, alright, cool, bet. He fucking launches himself at this meteor and he cuts through this thing. But you see it from like this long fucking pan shot of the meteor, and then you see it just like, pah! And it comes in half like that. And then it fucking explodes. And then you see Kenpachi land, and his Zanpakuto, since he knows the name, he's finally be able to evolve it into a Shikai. And this thing is like a fucking massive meat cleaver, man. It was fucking cool. And he ends up just fucking this dude up, chops him in half, and kills him. It was fucking wild. But fuck, this fight was intense because this dude's like doing everything to Kenpachi, even throws him into space because he realizes he can't beat him. And he's like, because you're in space, you know, you'll dehydrate within seconds, your body will shrivel up and die, you'll eventually just explode. Fucking Kenpachi managed to break through time and reality and comes out of space and fucks this dude up. But it was some of the coolest shit.
Is OP.
Fucking and this is just his Shikai. It's not even his fucking Bankai. So he's got levels to this shit. I got another gear after this. I got time. Ends up fucking this dude up. And it was just incredible because he finally comes back after such a long absence. And you finally learn more about him. because fucking he's always been like this lone swordsman. I just kill motherfuckers. That's what I do. I'm trying to find the best and beat the best. That's his journey altogether.
Why does it sound like Final Fantasy?
Right?
It had like the meteor limit break type thing, like the big Buster Sword cleaver type deal, and the what's his face, the auto counter. These are all abilities I have on my squad.
So you just pull out all the materia. But yeah, this is by far the best episode I've seen in this season so far. So, and I'm assuming now because it's episode, we only got another 3. So I reckon this season or this core is going to end off with Ichigo showing up. So we're not going to see any Ichigo, and it's going to be another fucking blue balls. But overall, like the fights that we've seen between the other characters aren't really main characters has been really fucking cool, because they're really painting this picture of like, we're on our last line of defense, we've got fuck all to fight with, and these guys are winning. So I reckon this will end with like the end is nigh, and then next season everything is going to turn over for the best, because they got another 2 cores after this, so another 24 episodes split between another 2 12-episode seasons, so it should be good. They're keeping it like very, very short compared to the original Bleach, which was 300 episodes.
Jesus. So there is an end in sight for this show?
Yeah.
It's going to end after that? They're not going to do like the Attack on Titan. No. This is the end.
So the cool thing with this was that the creators gave us a full timeline of what's going to happen with Bleach. Because the manga's already been written, you know where the end is going to be, and it's always been after the 1,000-year Blood War. But it ends for Ichigo, I should say. So this is where, like, you know, he gives up his path as the Soul Reaper, and then it goes on to another character from there. So we've got these 4 cores and then 2 movies, and then I think either another movie or another show about the new character.
Jesus. Itchy come, itchy go.
Always think about species 2 or 3. They come and go, literally.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was it.
Nice. So caught up on Reservation Dogs when Binge decided to fucking drop it on Friday, even though it comes out on Wednesday in the States. Dumb fucks.
Anyways, people to pirate
badly. That's what I was thinking. I think I could get better quality pirate copies online than through Binge. Anyways, so this episode goes all the way back to 1976, showcasing a lot of the elders that are in basically the modern times, but showcasing when they were in high school, their senior year, and the politics that they were kind of going, that they were going through. It was weird because the main character that they chose to focus on was Graham Greene. His character that was introduced, I think, in episode 2 of Maximus. Graham Greene's that is in Last of Us. His wife.
Yeah.
And he's kind of going through this existential crisis. And I kind of felt like what he was saying was he's not getting along with his cousin. They went out with the same girl. He's going out with her now, but his cousin Fixico, the medicine man who's training to become a medicine man, used to go out with her. And everyone thinks that they're fighting over this chick Mabel. But really, it's Maximus getting upset because his cousin has all these things, but doesn't recognize that he doesn't. And this is like, this is a bit weak, if you ask me. Like that's sort of that entitled to pity type attitude that O's don't like. But it went on to kind of show that this character Maximus, he has mental health issues. Because during the show, they take acid, and it's almost like it unleashes his mental health. Like it was dormant, but that LSD just like lets it rip, and he fucking sees aliens on the way home.
Triggers that
No one else sees it. What's it?
Triggers his schizophrenia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's what Graham Greene sort of... He's saying that he's talking to aliens in episode 2 before he gets taken away to a mental institute. Yeah. It was a solid episode. It was funny in the cyclical nature of existential crisis that these kids are going through in both timelines. Because they're both looking for purpose and direction in their lives. And you almost think that the elders have it all figured out, but there was once upon a time when like they still had to get their shit together. But yeah, great episode. It is the last season, so I'm trying to figure out how they're or why they're kind of taking it all the way back and doing lots of flashback episodes, because they also set, like, it's 1976, but they also set it in that same American Indian boarding school that they did for episode 3 with the deer lady. But that was in like the 1800s, I think, like early 1900s. So yeah, we'll see where they kind of link it to the present. But yeah, solid episode. Lioness, man, it is the penultimate episode, so the last one before the finale. All the pieces are coming together, so like they're setting up the operation to go to Mallorca to go check this wedding out before the target sort of moves to Riyadh. Now, Cruz has to get a visual on this guy who's basically like the bank for all terrorists, so that they can either blow the place up, which Cruz doesn't know about, or Cruz has to take him out. And Cruz is like going through some shit, right? Because last week they decided to add this other layer of a lesbian relationship.
Yeah, right.
This week,
we knew it was coming.
This week they doubled it the fuck down. I didn't know it was coming because I thought right there the conflict of I'm close to this person was enough to kind of get you into that mindset of she's going to betray her friend. You know what I mean? Even though she's the target and she's getting close to her for a purpose. It's not like Donnie Brasco had to fuck Lefty to like, you know, actually betray him or make you feel the betrayal more.
How dare you? It'd be the other way around.
Lefty horsecock.
Yeah, come on.
But
Lefty does the fucking.
A pinch, not a punch, not a pinch, a punch. But yeah, everything else surrounding that is fucking great. Because they show every aspect of this, the military operation, the planning side of it, the camaraderie that these guys, these operators have between each other, and how they kind of build that. And then like the dynamic of Zoe Saldana's character Joe and her family and what they're kind of going through, and the honesty that she lets bleed through about her career into her personal life. Fire. He fucking nails that. Taylor Sheridan nails that. But adding this lesbian relationship doesn't do as much. Because Cruz in this episode is like, I fucking love her. I wasn't trained for this. And I was just like, give me a fucking break, bro. Like, you've been jet-setting the beaches with this chick, complaining about her, not liking her, or wanting to connect. Now all of a sudden you're like in love with her. Bullshit. I would say the same thing for a hetero relationship. Like, it's just tacked on and it feels tacky. And I was just like,
representation.
That's what I'm feeling. Like that, it's like them trying to get that ESG rating up. Now, Paramount's like, we need more representation on all fronts. And I feel like they did that. They've touched all bases in this show. Like the one other woman that isn't Zoe Saldana, who's like the hetero one, and then Cruz was like hetero as well. The only other woman in the team was also lesbian. Is also lesbian. It's like, not every military woman operator is lesbian.
No.
And also not every oppressed woman, like, not even oppressed, but doesn't want this life, even though everything's kind of all figured out, is going to turn lesbian as an escape.
Yeah.
That's, like, it felt too convenient. It didn't feel like this was a natural, organic way to develop that relationship.
You know
Like, they went on a full-on 3-hour fuckathon. Like, they were saying in the store, we need to figure this out, because they were kind of getting into that, what was that pop star show that we just watched with The Weeknd?
Idol.
The Idol.
The Idol, yeah. They got into that sort of dressing room shenanigans and whatnot,
Yeah,
and
right.
then someone walked in, and then they were like, no, we need somewhere to figure this out. Can we figure it out? And then they just go to a hotel room and just bone. This is like...
Where was this? Because if this was Riyadh, I'm sorry.
No. This is in New York.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, because they're stateside at the moment before they go to Mallorca. Yeah, so they're going to go to Spain to do the wedding, and then they're going to go to Riyadh to the compound. Yeah, so, I mean, everything around it, fire. Because Zoe Saldana also, pardon me, has to kind of balance what she tells her family. And she can't tell her husband how or what she's sort of operating on overseas, because that shit's confidential.
Makes them a target too.
Yeah. And her daughter just came out of hospital, right? Because the daughter fucked around and, like, got in a car accident. Yeah, that's right. And so her daughter's home, but she's insecure about letting the father sort of help her with, like, her functions, like going to the toilet and showering and stuff like that. And she's feeling betrayed because Zoe Saldana has to go out on mission. And then she asked the question, is it dangerous? And Saldana's like, fuck yeah, it's dangerous. Like, I could get killed in this one. And then that's when... Yeah. So I think that weight of what her mom does, like, her father's busy and he's always at work, but he can always, like, he's coming home for sure. But her mother's out there fucking like doing some heavy shit. Like, that's a different weight for a kid to carry. So I like that dynamic and how they kind of balance that as a couple as well, and sort of navigate that. The other aspect was Nicole Kidman and her husband, because her husband is into some sort of unbalancing the government powers in different parts of the world, like that sort of bullshit. And you kind of get a sense of how the US sort of plays that game of, don't disrupt this. If you take away that, it'll get rid of the unrest in that area, which will then mean that we can't control as well as we could before. But, like, yeah, there's some really shifty shit. I was going to say shiesty, but I'll say shifty shit that's at play in the background. Because if these are successful, then there's a part of the US government that can't really do its job. And it's disgusting. That's the manipulation that's kind of playing out. Yeah. We'll see next week how they wrap this up in a bow. I think it's already been greenlit for a second season, so could be good. Got the chance. Not got the chance. I paid for the fucking tickets, but went to go see Sound of Freedom. Went to go see Sound of Freedom. This is the Jim Caviezel, starring one based around Tim Ballard. I liked the movie. It was solid. I know it's been getting a lot of shit online for whatever fucking reason. This is the story of how Tim Ballard got to where he's kind of where he is now in rescuing kids. When he was with Homeland Security, he was only responsible for getting rid of the predators off the street. Whereas they, like any other links that they had to rescuing kids, they would just leave it. So this is his, yeah, I know. So all those ethical sort of questions come into mind on where you sort of draw the line in saving children. And he crosses that line and sort of sets up an operation that would get him kids to sort of save, but also get rid of these one arm of these friggin' child predators, which is disgusting. But through the movie, you get to see this whole pipeline that they kind of create, how they source and how they distribute, and like there's some shit in here that just makes your skin crawl. It's not a graphic movie by any means. It's just really sort of, it's honest, but it doesn't show you the brutality of it, which I'm kind of glad. It shows you the after effects of it and the sort of fear and the trauma. And like, I got really emotional in a lot of this movie. And it more hit me in the start to middle, because that dealt more with the children. Whereas the latter half of the movie was more the operation that was kind of happening. But like, this is all real shit. Because I did a little bit of research before, because there's a lot of shit online, right? There's a lot of discourse about who the fuck does Tim Ballard think he is? Why is he doing this? And like, is he legit? So I like to look up both sides of the argument, because there's truth and, you know, in both sides. Because you can defend someone and just talk shit all day. Or you can, like, you know, say something about someone and there be some truth in it. But he backs it up. Within the movie, he backs it up with clips and facts of him actually doing the stuff. So he's actually got clips of it. He starts the movie with, not him personally, but the director starts the movie with child abductions, like real CCTV footage of children getting abducted, which is fucking scary. But he ends the movie with the real raids that Tim Ballard did, and the way that he set these fuckers up. And it's amazing, because through his actions, he was able to change government legislation on how far they can sort of go in terms of working with international bureaus to regain these kids, get them back into the system. And it's got some scary facts in there. Like, there are more child slaves, or more slaves now than ever at any one time in living history. And it's all undercover shit. Like, there is a network of people who should just end themselves, all helping this $150 billion empire. Like, it is becoming it is becoming the fastest growing black market vice.
Commodity?
Yeah, unfortunately. On the planet.
Yeah. It's fucking scary.
Yeah. It really, really is. So that it just made my skin crawl. And I was like, yep, I lock my doors anyways, but like, my kids don't leave my side. Like, they do not leave my side either.
Yeah.
Like, it's just,
some of those parents are a little willy fucking nilly with their kids.
Yeah.
you know, we enjoyed freedom as kids that I would never give my kids.
Yeah.
Like, we walked to school back and forth every day. We played until the fucking lights went out on the street, sometimes even after that. I came home in dark, you know what I mean? Fucking drenched, covered in fucking mud, just filthy. Like, anything could have happened to me. No phones, nothing.
Yeah.
Like, we was operating fucking wild. But I would never let my kids do that.
Different time and place, my friend. Different time. It's what the internet gave us.
True.
All the great things the internet gave us, it also gave us this.
Yeah.
It's the scariest shit ever. Like, I was already scared. Because I get that shit on my TikTok feed. You know what I mean? But now it's just like, nah.
Yeah.
I would hunt those down, though. We'll switch to a lighter note there. So, Winning Time is out. Winning Time came out, I think, last week. I think it came out. Dropped with like 2 episodes. It was great. What's this way? So the first episode deals with like the aftermath of them winning that chip, right? So they won the chip. They didn't win it against Boston. Boston is the greatest team on the planet. They've won that. Won those rings more times than anybody else on the planet, right? So this episode, the first episode, opens with them winning the first game of the final series in Boston, in their home court, and then just having to get rushed out the building because then Boston fans went crazy.
Oh shit, they beat them on Boston soil.
Beat them on Boston soil.
Oof.
Yeah. So all you see is them just running through the halls and whatnot to try and get to the bus. And then what's-his-face has this mad speech on the bus. What's his name? Adrian Brody. But then the fans break through the halls. And then they start attacking the bus. And then they have to get out there, right? And then it flashes back to the start of the season. And basically it's Magic sort of dealing with, like, you know, him having a child now by some chick, and him having the lawyers sorted out and all that sort of stuff. It also deals with them sort of like, you know, they're a younger team now. Kareem's older. He can't play like he used to. And, you know, what are they going to do about Kareem? Because Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is still playing, right? He's nearly 40. He's still playing. It's crazy, especially back then. It's not LeBron like now, where you can just steroid up. But what's his face? And you know the struggles that they're going through there, right? And then it's the first game, and Magic comes out, and he's thinking about all the cool stuff he's going to do and how they're going to win and everything. And it's a mad fucking shot because it's just him, and it's sort of just him reacting and playing, but there's no one else there. He's in the stand. He's in the what's his face, the stadium, and it's just him. Spotlight on him. Everything else is black, and he's playing and playing and playing, and then you just hear crunch, and it smash shots to his knee. He basically breaks his fucking knee at the start of the season, and he's like out now for the next 12 weeks, and if it is 12 weeks, it's going to be playoff time, and that's if they win the playoffs and everything. It was fucking crazy, man.
That's wild.
I forgot about that. Because I remember Magic coming back with the scar. And what's his face? Because you still see the scar on Magic's leg now. What's his face? Where they cut him open and fixed his knee. And then the next episode is him, like, it was mad because it wasn't centered on the Lakers at all. It was all Larry Bird, which is fucking mad. So you see Larry come home to his dad. His dad is like out in the country somewhere at his job, and you know, he's happy and everything. He sees his son's back from college, and then Bird tells him, I dropped out of college, I couldn't do this, I don't want to leave here, you know what I mean? And his dad's like, well, take a look around, because this is your fucking life now. This is what you've done. You were the only person in our family to be able to go to college, right? Cuts to a scene of him playing ball, like during his lunch break and whatnot. And, like, you know, the cops rock up, and he's like, you know, what's going on? Is it my father? And he's like, and they're like, yeah. He's like, well, just you know, just let him go. Tell my mother I'll give her the money if she needs it and all that sort of stuff. I'm good for it. He's like, no, you need to come with us. Goes to a scene of him going into that shack that his father was basically renting and working out of. Blown his brains out. with a fucking shotgun. So it's just, yeah, it was just about him sort of picking himself up again, Larry, because he was still playing ball after that. Wasn't playing for a university or anything. One of the scouts sees him, tells him to go to one of the universities. I can't remember which one it was, and go try out. And he's like, the coach tells him that something about round here we can actually challenge you. And he's like, all right. Larry's dressed in fucking normal work boots and jeans, a little fucking what's his face shirt, button up shirt. And he's like, all right, show me. And he just continues to put a fucking clinic on all those fucking O's. And he's like, coach, I'll keep score for you. And he gets up to like, he was like, I can't remember what the score was. What's the score, coach? And he's like 46. And that was all the points that he had scored on those O's. Like Larry is just too good, man. And also that episode is cut between like sort of Magic accepting that he's got a son now and not just paying this bitch off and sort of like, staying out of the child's life. Because that was the option. Just pay her a whole bunch of money. She'll have a gag order. You won't be able to be in the son's life. You don't have to be in the son's life. And then him and his mother and his father getting involved and saying like, your blood will be out here on these streets, and we wouldn't even know what he looks like. Like you need to do the right thing. So him accepting that, having his baby, going to see his son, spending time with his son and all that sort of stuff. And then also the third episode deals with Adrian Brody's character. Damn it. He's like the maddest coach on the planet. He's probably the second best coach on the planet. I don't know what his name is. What's his face? Him not being trusted by the head coach, Paul, and him being sort of cut out of the team and everything because he secretly worked with Magic to get his knee ready and everything. But it wasn't really secret because Magic's knee was fucked and he needed the help. He was scared.
Yeah.
And what's his face? All the shit that comes with that. What else was there? And then what's his name?
Pat Riley.
Pat Riley. The man.
The king.
Pat Riley is who they based all the people in Goodfellas on. The way that
the best dressed.
Yeah, the way that they dress, the way that they wear their hair. Pat Riley. What's his face? What's his face? So he's sort of, we don't know what's going to happen with him. This coach keeps fucking up. He messed up this trade deal because Magic said it was a good idea, so he didn't want it. He's got like a fucking vendetta against Magic. This guy. Fuck, it's played by Sudeikis as well, so it's mad. I get to see Sudeikis. Not Sudeikis.
Wow.
The other Jason.
Jason Clarke?
No. Jason Clarke is in it.
Schwartzman?
No. What's his name?
John C. McGinley?
That was in the Apple TV show with Harrison Ford.
I know the name. It's like there, but it isn't fucking Jason Segel.
Jason Segel.
Yeah. It's played by him. So I get to see him like twice a year now, which is mad. Nice. What's his face? Fuck, it's mad though. And then John C. McGinley is like John C. Riley is like, setting up his family. You see all the family drama and everything. Like what's her face is Jeannie is really interested in like, taking over, obviously, from the business. She's the only person who can. She's been with him from the start. And him setting up things to sort of test his children, like his two boys, to see if they're ready to take over as well. And it's just not panning out. Like Jeannie, obvious front runner. She's an absolute fucking beast. She understands the business. She's the best person for it. But yeah, otherwise, 3 really good episodes. I really like this series.
I gotta catch up on that shit, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Binge. I had to search for it. I was like, where was it again? And then I remember I just did a search and I saw the binge thing and I was like, binge. That's where I'll go. But yeah, I'm enjoying it. The O actually looks like Magic. The O actually looks like Kareem.
That's good.
Yeah.
But some of these shows, they just fucked that look up completely. It was like, nah, you have the essence of the character.
The guy that plays Kareem, because it's older Kareem, he actually has the bald spot.
Oh shit!
Oh, wow.
That's how far, and it's mad because they'll shoot it so it looks like the 70s, like really old and whatnot sometimes, and then brand new sometimes, and yeah, it's so cool.
Like that.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
That's awesome.
Hmm.
You know, I thought this was a Stan show.
No, I thought so too.
Yeah.
Fucking wish it was.
Yeah, either that or Amazon. But man, PainKiller, really, really fucking good. So this is a story about the creation of OxyContin, how it was distributed and sold amongst all doctors, but as well as that, how it reinvigorated the crack as well as opioid epidemic in the United States.
What were those names?
The Sackler brothers. And these guys created Purdue Pharma. Now, they do give disclaimers at the start of each episode. So there's 6 episodes, about an hour long each, 45 minutes to an hour long each. And they tell you that, like, you know, characters' names, locations are, like, changed as per the true story that occurred. So this follows Matthew Broderick, who was really fucking good in here, as Richard Sackler, so the guy who came up with the idea to change MS Contin to OxyContin, which is double the strength of regular morphine.
Fuck.
Yeah. Broderick kills this shit. Like, for some, I haven't seen Broderick in so long. I swear the last time I saw him was Godzilla, but I didn't expect to catch it. But there was other shit in between.
Maybe it was. Gotcha.
But so the way he portrays Richard Sackler is that he's very he's psychopathic, sociopathic, as well as schizophrenic, because he has visions of Clark Gregg Coulson from Avengers, because he plays Arthur Sackler Sr. And he didn't make his money from being a doctor, because these guys were all immigrants that came over here in the 30s, and they made their money not as doctors, but as fucking ad agencies. You found out he was a better salesman than he was a doctor. And this guy was working in a mental ward, and they show you a fucking lobotomy in there, and it fucked me up. How they put the rod
through the eye?
Through the eye.
Through the eye, yeah.
Fucking destroyed me, eh? But this was insane. So, majority of this is recounted as per, like, Uzo Aduba from Orange is the New Black. She plays this lady named Edie Flowers, who was part of the FDA to actually investigate OxyContin, as well as all of the epidemic, basically. So prior to all of this happening, she was actually looking into dodgy doctors doing real shady shit, like putting x-rays on their bills when they haven't used their x-ray machines in fucking years. Now, Taylor Kitsch is in here as well as one of the affected people. And he was actually really decent here. I feel like it's always hit or miss with Taylor Kitsch, but this was really good. There's no real standout episodes, because all of it was a really good 6-episode story. But the shit they talk about in here, so like I mentioned, they talk about the creation of OxyContin. So their father finally dies. Arthur Sackler Sr. passes away, and they don't know what the fuck they need to do, like, with his estate, because majority of his estate was that he owed money to everyone. Like, he didn't make any money whatsoever. So Richard Sackler, Matthew Broderick, his idea was, okay, well, we need to make something to make us some money. And that's when the idea of OxyContin came up. And so with OxyContin, it eventually gets approved and distributed. But prior to that was the coercion of FDA people to actually get them to approve this product, because whenever they looked through it, they knew that it wasn't right, because the addiction rates were insane. And as well as that, the write-ups and reports for this drug itself is the first drug to ever use the words "is believed" to have an addiction rate of less than 1%.
That's fucking wild.
Yeah, it was fucking insane. And they would send out drug representatives, which were these fucking skimpily clad women who would go out to see all the doctors and fucking coerce them into actually selling this drug and prescribing it to their patients because they made money not only off the sale of OxyContin, but of how many milligrams they prescribed. And part of the agreement with these doctors were that if recurring customers come back and they have the same issues, they need to prescribe them a higher dose. So it starts as 40 milligrams of this shit and goes as high as 160 milligrams in each tablet. So we begin to see the effects of Oxy. So Edie Flowers randomly goes into a pharmacy this one day to do one of her routine checkups, and this guy is behind her, and he just starts getting antsy, and he fucking jumps the table looking for Oxy. Fucking manages to get out, and then weeks later, she gets a call from the morgue because now she's interested. And they do a full autopsy on this guy's stomach, and he had 6 of those fucking 160 milligram pills in his stomach. And this lady was, you think this is a lot, this is nothing. The other day I fucking cut open a crackhead's fucking stomach, and there were 11 tablets in there. And that's not even the record. Somewhere in Idaho, they had 18 tablets in their stomach. Like these guys were just popping these pills as they got them. It was fucking scary. Taylor Kitsch's character, he owns just a mechanic store, and he falls onto this engine and fucking just breaks his whole back. So they prescribe him Vicodin, just regular Advil and other shit, and then the pain's still there, so his doctor prescribes him Oxy. And you see his journey from being just like a regular family man to just this guy who just needs Oxy all the time. Like he goes from not being able to get a prescription to like buying off the streets. And they also show you how like there were people out there who knew Oxy was going to be a huge commodity for the black market. So they would pick up crackheads on the street, and then they would find pharmacies or doctors, where they knew they'd just give a prescription regardless and make them go in there, get the prescription, go buy the fucking Oxy, and then hand it to the driver. The driver would give them like 6 pills and then bag the rest, and they'd sell that shit.
Fucking hell.
Purdue Pharma, off the sales of OxyContin, were making $30 million a day. It was fucking insane. And the parties these guys were having because of the success of OxyContin was wild as well. So they show the Sacklers flying off to Miami with everyone. And this is during that massive court case that they have as well, because of the epidemic just fucking being reinvigorated. And you see people just fucking on the dance floor. They're all taking Oxy themselves. They've discovered you can crush it and fucking snort it. But during this whole time, with those court cases, they just pleaded ignorance. They were like, we didn't know about any of this until somewhere out south in the Bible Belt, they brought it to their attention. When they had letters from doctors saying that, hey, people are privy to snorting this, as well as that people are starting to OD in our clinics now as well.
Jesus.
There's so much shit in this show where it either broke my fucking heart or it made me so fucking angry when you were going through this. But the performances that were in play in this show, 6 episodes, fucking Uzo Aduba, sorry if I'm butchering that name as well, she fucking kills this. Her and Matthew Broderick were definitely fucking killers on this show.
Killers on the show.
But overall, like, the shit you see, as well as just overall, this was a great show. And it flies as well. We started this on Friday at like 6 p.m. and we didn't even know it was midnight, and we had finished the show. Like, we were just running it up the whole time. But if you want to
watch Dope Sick now?
Yeah, I need to.
There's also a documentary on Netflix that I watched about this actual pharmacist that was going out there that did a whole lot of investigation.
Oh shit!
His son got hooked on oxys and died. OD'd.
Shit. There's at the start of every episode they have the family of the affected intro you to the episode, not telling you what happens, but just letting you know that some things are fictionalized for the show. And then they're like, but the use of my son's name, Tyler so-and-so, was used. He was 23 years old when he got addicted to Oxy and died at the age of so-and-so. Like, it's really heartbreaking to see that, too, because some of these families, like, they're still whole as well, but now they've lost family and shit like that.
I had 2 of Mom's Oxys. That shit did nothing to me.
Man, maybe that's
time store.
But this was good. Like, it's made me want to get down that sort of, not get on Oxy, but also go down that rabbit hole of fucking, like, Dope Sick and all those other shows.
Fuck that.
This is worth a watch, honestly.
I don't ever want to get addicted to anything except for my Vaporoo.
Yeah, but I like cigarettes. I do.
Hey,
I like
if cigarettes are
cigarettes.
still $8.90 a pack, I would be, like, hitting them up.
Oh, man. Straight away. I like cigarettes. I like movies. These are my, like, 2 vices.
Those are harmless vices, though.
100%.
Harmless to who? I can die with a cigarette.
Yeah, but you're not out there pumping crack into your, like, into your lungs.
Yeah, it's true.
You're not gambling out your whole wage and then, like, what do I do for rent?
Fuck no.
What me what?
I never understood
if you
that.
don't fucking call up that gambling hotline.
I never understood that. Like, how people could just sit there and, like, gamble. Maybe the money will come in this time. Mate, I want a sure thing.
Yeah, that's the thing for me. Because I put $5 into the machine. Fuck, I'm cut when I don't get it back.
Badly.
If I don't double that money in 5 minutes, fucking get antsy. I was just like...
Also, with those Oxy reps, these guys' bonuses was like 60k, depending on their fucking, like, their sales for distributing Oxy to these doctors.
What the fuck is...
Some of these guys as well, like, because they were majority women, they were just sleeping with the doctors to get, like, them to sort of sign on to. Fuck, it was wild. Also,
the ultimate weapon.
fucking John Rothman is in this show as a bit part as one of the Sackler brothers.
Who's John Rothman?
Fucking John Rothman. If you see his face, you'll know who he is. But he was in, like, a lot of older, like, horror movies and shit like that.
Yeah.
It was, yeah. It was cool, though. It was funny to see him. He was also in Blue Bloods for a little bit. Law and Order, all that shit. But I tell you, man, Matthew Broderick really needed to do some more movies. Because, like, seeing him come back to this, fucking hell.
Yeah. No, he's been out of the spotlight for a little bit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, when you were saying people was fucking on the dance floor, I was like, I hope it's not Broderick in that form.
Jesus.
Like, that was some wild shit.
So does it show the downfall of these O's, the Sacklers?
So,
What downfall?
They still pumping it.
these guys are still worth $11 billion together.
What was the payout? I think the payout was like 1.8 or 1.9 billion dollars. They could have paid that from one of their bank accounts and still had billions, dog. Just didn't touch them at all.
Exactly.
That's disgusting.
So Matthew Broderick, when he's sitting down with, like, the fucking hallucination of Arthur Sackler Sr., after they fucking say they're gonna, like, give that 1.9 billion, he's like, but it's over a period of 10 years, so we don't need to give any money right now. Our investments will pay for it over that time, so essentially we pay nothing. So this guy, Richard Sackler, is still alive. He lives out in Boca Raton in a fucking modest $11 million home compared to his $30 million home. The fucking...
I'm doing a hard yakka over there, mate.
Fucking right? I don't know, man, like, to see that, like, some of the shit they did as well, like, when the lawyers came in officially to, like, subpoena, serve them, all that shit, and they were having the meeting with Purdue Pharma, he didn't even show up. Not because he wasn't able to, but because it was all by design. So he makes one of his lieutenants go in and fucking talk to these guys, and he basically just tells him, look, you say yes to whatever these lawyers ask for. And then he ran outside of the office with his dog and was just pegging the tennis ball at the fucking glass while they were in there. like he was doing crazy shit.
It's that I'm so rich I'm above the law type shit that gets me.
Yeah. Now, there's a monologue that Clark Gregg has in here as well when they like go back in time, and they talk and he basically explains about the definition of legacy. And this shit is fucking. It was really powerful, and it was. This might be like Clark Gregg's near best role to date as well, because he really fucking kills it as this character. You see very little of him, but when you do, he's on like screen for a good reason. Because his brother comes in and is like, "I bring glad tidings," and like he's bought jewelry and shit from Tiffany's, and he shows it to Clark Gregg, and he's like, "Return it. I don't want it." And that's when this guy, his brother's son, is in there as well. And he begins to explain to the son, do you know what legacy is? And he has this mad monologue about legacy and basically shits on his brother and tells him to fuck off.
Jesus.
Yeah, it was fucking crazy.
Yeah. Sounds like a must-watch show.
It was good.
It sounds like actual quality. Those 6 episodes ones are the ones to watch out for.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. The 3 and 6s, on point.
How was the representation in the?
It was good. Like I reckon they
9mm gay. Was she gay?
No, they actually don't talk about her. Like, well, I don't know. They show her playing Tomb Raider 1, like video gaming and shit like that. They don't show her with any love interest. They explain, well, not explain, but you see like her brother's actually in prison for dealing crack. And her mother was a crack fiend too. And so she has a lot of arguments with her brother and shit like that, and her sort of getting over that with the case. But they don't show her like with a love interest. I reckon they focused on Taylor Kitsch as an addict because they didn't want to show that representation of like the black community as addicts as well. But I think Oxy was a very white pill.
Oh, it was. That's why when the crack epidemic hit, it was prison for black people. And when the Oxy happened and hit the streets, it was an epidemic, and we needed to give all those little white kids help and not send them to prison.
Yeah, it's crazy. There's where Uzo Aduba does like she does her research about the numbers of like ODs and shit like that. She has the graphs and she puts like the number of overdoses as well as the number of doctors now prescribing Oxy and then something else and then the profits of Purdue Pharma, and the scale is all in the exact same fucking place. It was crazy, man. $30 million a day. Not a week, a day. That's billions in a year.
Yeah, man. It's crazy that these, like pharma, big pharma, and like child trafficking, both make billions every year.
It is nuts.
Yeah, like, when you said you were like heartbroken and like angry, that's the exact same feeling I got coming out of that movie.
Yeah. Do you reckon Oz is gonna like get on this?
What do you mean get on this?
Like, not on that, but like watch the show?
Oh man, I probably will check it out. Like I just finished Sandman.
Oh yeah. What'd you think?
Yeah. I didn't mind it. Yeah, it was actually alright. Like they don't like not every episode is a fucking heater. There are mad episodes though where he grants that like everlasting life. I'm not going to say that Jehovah's Witness shit. I can't believe I said everlasting life. But he lets that live forever, you know what I mean? And then checks in with him every 100 years, and it's mad. You see, like, the changes, the societal changes, and the O's attitude, and how he prospers, and how he fucking squanders it all and loses shit, and, like, his understanding of things, but because he can live forever, and he just, like some years, he just fucking gets thrown into the room fucking starving. In some years, he's fucking, like, rich, and I did well for myself. But then they have these weird episodes where there's those in this diner and he's sort of like, I want to change the world and make it more honest. So he makes everyone sort of act out their baser desires and emotions and whatnot.
Yeah.
And like 65-70% of the couples in there are gay, and I was like, that's like that wouldn't out of 3 couples, that wouldn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
I liked
yeah, that episode just got me. That diner episode was unnecessary.
Representation.
Yeah. The
fucking George Soros.
I'll give you everything you want in those additional episodes they tagged on for that guy with the thoughts was fucking cool. That was scary, that as well. But cool.
Yeah. Even the animated episode about the cats, that was really, really mad. The power of dreaming.
Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't think that I would like Dream by the end of that show. But by the end of it, I was like, you know what? You're alright, Dream. And you crack a smile like every 1,000 years or so.
I wonder his face complexion stays so amazing.
I know, because I was pouting all the time.
I have no crow's feet.
I am the endless. Endlessly fucking scowling.
I mean, a fucking scowl.
Alright. We'll be back on Thursday with the Equalizer 3 thoughts. A pre-thank you to Sony. Yeah. We shall see you then. Yeah. Fuck. Follow us on all social media. I forgot it there for a second, but follow us on all social media: Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, Threads, YouTube. Give us a like and a follow. Helps us get into more spaces and bring all that shit back to you. And yeah, love yourself. Love movies.
Vape more, smoke less, and wash your ass.
Fuck Purdue and fuck.